This program is dedicated to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces, past, present, and future. I'm Keith Warren. I'm a hunter.
What do you think of that? Yeah. Woo!
A fisherman.
2 fish on at one time? Oh my gosh!
A conservationist.
Hey, let go of that nipple. You're done. You're finished.
A family man.
Life is good. I love you, baby.
Love you too.
And I'm proud to be a deer farmer. I'm taking a road trip, and we're going behind the scenes of today's most innovative deer farmers and wildlife management operations in North America. This is Deer and Wildlife Stories.
All right, before I give you any more, you have to tell me where's Will. Where is Will Ainsworth? Okay, all right, good. Hey everybody, welcome to the show into Pennsylvania to the Dream Ranch. We're on today's show. We're gonna show you what a northern deer farm looks like, and then we're gonna go to a deer auction right here on Deer and Wildlife Stories. Hey buddy, where'd you go? Come on.
I'm Will Ainsworth, one of the owners of Dream Ranch North, located in beautiful Hillsdale, Pennsylvania. We've got over 50 acres here. It's exclusively a deer breeding operation. We've got 15 different breeder pens, a full barn to be able to handle our deer. Also got a state-of-the-art bottle feeding facility where we can take care of all our deer, but it's strictly deer breeding here in Pennsylvania.
These are big pens. I mean, they're a good size, probably about 3 acres, maybe a little bit bigger. Got a lot of ground cover in it and some real good shade too. It's always great to be with Will. Will is a huge supporter of the industry. He's been a personal supporter of our program for many, many years, and I appreciate him more than he knows, I guarantee you that. Will is an asset to our industry because he's outspoken, he's a leader, and he's proud to be a deer farmer. I've known Will Ainsworth for many years now, and Will's from Alabama. And I asked him, why in the world does he have a deer farm in Pennsylvania? Out of all the states that he could pick, you know, Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, all the states out there that deer farming is going on in, why Pennsylvania?
I'm from Alabama, as you can probably tell from the accent. We wanted to diversify our business, so we opened up a farm in Pennsylvania. The reason we chose Pennsylvania, it's the second largest state as far as deer farmers in the country, and it's one of the most friendly as far as regulations. Yeah, I love deer farming. The way I've got into deer farming was I was a hunter first and just loved whitetail deer. When I found out about it, it was a natural fit just for my passion of the outdoors. I've also got 3 young kids that all get to spend time on the farm, and it's a great thing for our family business. We're fortunate to have one of Penn State's finest as our ranch manager, Jason Hendershot. He manages the day-to-day operations of the ranch, any sales, transactions, and does a phenomenal job just taking care of the deer, following up with customers, and really got a dream job just getting to take care of these wonderful animals on a farm every day.
My name is Jason Hendershot. I'm the ranch manager here at Dream Ranch North in Pennsylvania. My duties here include overseeing all activities that happen here on the farm. That extends from bottle feeding to feeding the deer, making sure all the deer are healthy on the farm. I got into deer farming just from my love for the animal itself. I just have a love for deer that's unmatched. I grew up hunting and just always was interested in deer more than anything else. I studied wildlife and fisheries science at school, and just this is a perfect job for me, being outside all day, getting to spend every day with the deer. I'm lucky enough to work here with huge bucks and beautiful fawns. Everyone likes a different look on the buck. Some people like a big wide typical, some people love long tines, some people like a gnarly non-typical buck. Here at Dream Ranch we have all kinds of different bucks, from typicals to non-typicals. If I could give one piece of advice to a new deer farmer, it would be to really focus on genetics and to choose wisely with what they buy. It's a lot smarter to buy just 2 or 3 deer with great genetics than to buy a dozen so-so deer.
Why we have a deer farm is all about genetics. We want to have some of the best genetics in the U.S. The genetics just aren't there anymore in the wild. So, we're focused on exclusively producing the best genetics in the country for propagation purposes for other people.
If somebody was to ask me in one word to describe the feeling that you get from being a deer farmer and being with your deer on the farm, that one word without question to me would be therapeutic. It's just therapeutic. Come on up here. Come on, little fella. Come on. Oh, come on. Yes, I'm a stranger, and I know your mama said, do not talk to strangers. He listened to his mama, didn't he?
My name's Jason Hendershot, ranch manager at Dream Ranch North. Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by Bruton Easy Pull Trailers, Deer Guardian Misting Systems, Game Management Software, the North American Deer Farmers Association, Record Rack Deer Feeds, Whitetail Sales and Service, and Newport Labs.
There's an old saying, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and that's true with just about everything, especially with deer. I mean, some people like wide ones, and some like tall ones, and some like non-typicals, and some like typicals. But the cool thing about this deer farm, from the deer that we're looking at right here, Will's got a little bit of something for everybody, no matter what you like.
One of the things we tried to do here, just like everybody likes a different flavor of ice cream, is to have different flavors of deer. So we've got, largest deer in the world as far as big non-typicals, but we also, one of my favorite deer is wide typical deer. So we try to produce a little bit of everything. We've got all kind of different deer traits and characteristics. So if anybody comes, hopefully we got something for everyone.
Now, before we show you this buck, I want you to realize that they say this is the biggest buck in the world at this time. Now, I don't know about that, but he's absolutely huge. And take a look up the top of the hill. There's no doubt which one it is. I mean, he's got stuff all over his head.
Some of the deer we have on our farm this year, one we're really excited about is actually the largest deer in the world. His name's Dream Rolex. I think he'll probably score in the mid 600s this year, which is the size of some elk. You might be looking at Dream Rolex, largest deer in the world, trying to figure out, how's he that big? And it's all genetics. It's not anything to do with feed or any type of steroids or anything like that. It's all genetics. Just like in humans, if there's people that are really tall, there's people that are really big, people that are really short, and usually it's based off genetics. And it's the same with deer. That's why pedigrees are so important. It's going to give predictability for the future offspring.
I'm lucky enough to spend every day looking at Dream Rolex. He's the biggest deer in the world. He's just massive antlers. It's amazing to see a deer grow that much. Every day I'm amazed that I look at him. His genetics have allowed him to become the largest deer in the world. A lot of people come here, they see Dream Rolex, they can't believe how big he is, and they figure we feed him some kind of steroids or some kind of extra additive to get him to grow that big. And it isn't that. It's all about his genetics. He was bred to be produced into a large, non-typical buck, and that's what he's become. He's become the biggest buck in the world.
I've been to hundreds of deer farms around the country. Nobody gives their deer growth hormones. Nobody gives their deer steroids, period. What that is selective breeding. It's breeding up the right mama, the right daddy, the right pedigrees. And sometimes you get a freak of nature. That right there is so big, he could be the biggest deer in the world, but obviously that is a freak of nature.
If you like big typicals, we have deer like that. Deer like Ranger's Dream, one of the sons of one of the greatest sires in the country, Maxpo Ranger. He's a beautiful typical deer. If you like drop tines, we have that also. If you like the fleas line of genetics, got a buck called Dream Bucky that had matching drop tines. He broke one of them off, but he's just beautiful. So those are some of the deer we're real excited about this year.
Everything in deer farming comes down to genetics. The way to grow big bucks is to stack up the genetics. Take a doe that's produced large offspring in the past and breed it to a buck with a wide spread, you're going to produce another big buck. It's all about genetics. It's just like if you take two people who have blue eyes, their children are going to have blue eyes as well. Genetics is everything in deer farming. With how expensive deer are, sometimes people actually join up together and create partnerships to go in on one deer. We have some great genetics at this farm, and we've had people go in partnerships with ourselves and also with others to buy deer on the farm and to gain deer that they wouldn't be able to purchase just by themselves.
You may be looking at these deer and go, what in the world happens with these guys? I mean, where do they go when they leave here? Well, great question. First off, I want to address that I'm a deer farmer. I'm also a deer hunter. Every deer farmer I know is a deer hunter. The reason why we're deer farmers is because we can't get enough of the deer by just hunting them. We love deer. And so I want to point out that we're all hunters, but we don't hunt at a deer farm. You don't do that. Okay, no matter what anybody says, that doesn't happen. Okay, the next thing I want to point out, where do these deer go? They go to great big areas that have great native habitat, places that need the good genetics and need the deer. And the reason why is because the good genetics are gone and the deer population is gone because they've been overhunted or the habitat has been destroyed, and then so there's no more deer. What do you do if you've got a piece of property and you want to have deer on it, but you don't have deer? You don't go to a deer store. I mean, come on, think about it. What you do, you come to a deer farm, like right here, and these deer can be purchased and taken to a piece of property that needs deer.
Some states in the country have regulations where they cannot import or export deer from their state. Here in Pennsylvania, we have good regulations that allow us to export basically into any state. People from those states that have limited regulations often buy deer in states like Pennsylvania so that they can bring semen into their state and also sell deer in other states to allow them to be marketable to any state in the U.S. Anyone that's interested in checking out the deer here on the farm, feel free to come by at any time. I'm here every day feeding the deer, taking care of them, and if you want to come check them out, just give me a call and be free to show you around.
It's time for viewer feedback, brought to you by the Deer and Wildlife Stories YouTube channel.
Hi Keith, my name is Jim from Alabama. I'm planning on starting a deer farm and need your advice regarding deer auctions. Do you recommend me buying my first deer at a deer auction? Jim, that's a good question. It all depends. You know, deer auctions are good places to go and to meet people, to see industry trends, to see values in deer, to see what pedigrees are bringing. And what I'd recommend before doing anything, especially if you want to get into deer farming, visit deer farms, talk to deer farmers, and then go to as many auctions as you can. Study, and make sure that you're making a wise investment. Now, sometimes you can get a smoking deal at an auction, other times you can't. So you may be able to be better getting a better deal off the farm. So it all depends upon your negotiating skills and what you're after. So deer auctions, good places to go and meet people and learn lots of information.
Got a question about deer farming or a comment about the show? I'd love to hear from you. Make sure and shoot me an email, and also watch all of our programs and outtakes as well right here on the Deer and Wildlife Stories YouTube channel.
I'm Will Ainsworth. Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by DNA Solutions and the North American Deer Registry, New Dart, Shock Effect Probiotics, and Keith Warren's Texas Hidden Springs Ranch, the best value for Texas trophy deer hunting.
All right, this is exciting. I'm telling you what, you're fixing to see something in the deer business that gets everybody going. A deer auction. You know, we've already shown you some big deer here, but now it's time to take you to an auction. Right now, they got some vendors around here. A lot of guys are trying to strategize what they're gonna be bidding on, how much they're gonna go. You got kids playing games, families sitting around, you got people eating lunch. This right here is what I like to call before a deer auction, the calm before the storm.
We've got the Dream Ranch Invitational Auction. Got hundreds of people coming today to tour our facilities, and actually got a live auction on the farm today. We're excited.
Every year here at Dream Ranch, we have an invitational auction where we sell bucks, does, semen off our deer, and newborn fawns. People come from all over the country to check out the deer here and to get a hold of some of the genetics that we have here. We've produced some great genetics over the years, and they show in our offspring, and people come from all over to get them.
So there's over 60 lots in today's sale. We'll have auctioneers, people ring men out taking bids. There'll also be an online component where you can bid online on these auctions. And the thing that everybody's looking for is they're trying to get great pedigrees to improve their deer herd.
Technology today has allowed us to provide access to the auction to people that cannot make it to the show. If people from Texas or Wisconsin can't make it out here to Pennsylvania, they can just log on online and either just keep up to date with the auction or bid on deer as well.
We've got guys here today, some of the largest deer breeders in the industry. We've also got small deer farmers. We've even got some people here today that are looking at getting into deer farming. So we've got all kind of different arrays of people that are here today. Yeah, we're happy to have Keith back for our 4th annual Dream Ranch Invitational Auction. So one of the things we have is a sale catalog. It's got a description of every lot, also has the DNA number that's important. People track the lots as they go. They write down the prices. They keep this for reference later on. It's a great tool to have to be able to tell where the market's at.
Okay, I think we're ready to get the show underway. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out to the 2013 Dream Ranch North Invitational here in beautiful Hillsdale, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, our first lot we got a lot of attention from. Got guys from all over the country, Alabama, Texas, up north, interested in buying that. We expect that lot to do really well. Never known an auction, so we'll find out here in just a minute.
I'm Rusty Weaver. I'm a deer breeder from all the way down in Alabama. I came up to the Dream Ranch Invitational today. I've got my eye on a particular lot here, and hopefully we'll get a shot at it. There's one particular lot that I'm interested in. It's lot 1. It's got Maxbow XL on Cardiac Kid, on Interpreter's Mom. Obviously this lot's unbelievable pedigree, but my hope is to work this into a herd, my herd, with a deer I have XLT. Hopefully someday breed this buck fawn with my doe fawns out of XLT and double up Maxbow XL. Some people think I'm crazy for driving all the way up here from Alabama, but it's all about the pedigrees that are available here, and I see a deer that I need to have, and we're gonna give it a shot.
So get right in there, get your satchels out, and bid high and bid fast. We're not going to try to drag out the auction too long. We're going to try to keep it snappy. So, all right, Lyle's going to be sitting in there and taking bids for me. So get your bids right there, and we're going to have a good, snappy kind of an auction. We're ready to go on lot number 1, the Maxbow XL on Cardiac Kid. Here's quite a lot. All right, here you go. What a bit on the good line, 100 down, you tell me. What a bit on my cavalry. Who wants to be first? 25, 15, now 20. 50 to the bound down, 20 grand, 100 down, each, 100 to the bound back, $20,000 down. Now 500 down, each, 20 pound to the bound, $30,000 down there. And now 30 grand, I get 20 pound to the bound down, 30, 45, 40 pound to the bound down, 50. I hold the bed there, 40, got to be 50 math, 45, now 50, 40 pound to the bound down, 50.
Are you kidding me? They made that much money with that deer?
I'll tell you what, that's a lot of burger, isn't it?
Now 60, 50 pound amount now, 60 grand, 100 down, 50 pound amount back, 60, and now 65, round again, Lyle, 65, now $70,000, 60 pound amount, 70, down, 70 amount back, 7,500 down there, I get 70 grand here, 75, and 70 pound amount now, 70 passes out, 72.5, 70 grand here, 72.5, and 70 down there, 72.5, y'all down at the other end there, Lyle, 72 on the bound back, 500 down, 72, 500 down, 72, 5 on the bound down here, so $70,000 you got her, buddy. 70 grand on bidder number.
Yeah, I can't believe that deer, half interest in that deer sold for that much. You know what though, but Rusty came down here specifically to buy that deer. They wound up with half of it. That goes to show you what a good pedigree will do. It'll bring a lot of money on a deer.
If you're looking for a deer that's going to produce you big, typical 2-year-old, early, this is a deer that'll do it. I mean, think you'll be happy with it. Like I said, she will produce big frames at an early age. So there you go.
She's gonna be a producing machine. Yes, 3, 32, 50. 3 grand, 3,100. And 3 will down, 3,100 down here. 31 back here. 3 will down, 35 will down, hold down here, down. Sold the deer, $3,000 back down here. Put a bit of bank is 3,000. Bid 27. Thank you, Lawson.
One thing I like about a deer auction is like a family reunion. Take a look at this. All of us, like we're one big family in deer farming. That's the one thing we have all in common, is our love of the whitetail deer.
You'll notice there's a lot of kids here today, there's a lot of families here today, and it's just a great opportunity to take people, just deer farming in general, to get your family involved in something you all can enjoy the great outdoors, get to enjoy God's creation and deer, and then go to an auction. It's definitely a family event. Yeah, we've got a lot of different things going on today. We serve lunch and got a lot of people that come out eating hamburgers and hot dogs. Also, we've got vendors set up, with feed products, other deer breeders here. We've got NADIFA, the National Deer Association, that represents and protects our industry here today, talking with people. Also got stuff for the kids, got all kind of little kids games, and also doing farm tours, just letting people see the deer.
I get 50 pound, 100 down, 5 grand, 100 down, 50 pound, bound back, 2 pound, down, 52 down, down here. I get 5 grand here, 52, 50 pound, bound down, 52 down, 100 down, 50 pound, back, 2. You're not going.
Most people are into deer farming as a business, but they're also very personable, and you can learn a lot from every single one of them. Auctions are a great place to meet different people and gain knowledge that you wouldn't be able to gain other places.
A deer auction is a great place to find information about the industry, to meet new breeders. So whether you're a deer farmer or looking at getting into deer farming, it's a great place to start to find out if this is something you'd like to do. If you're a new deer farmer wanting to learn more about, getting into the deer farming business, I'd recommend you go to an auction, join your state association like the Pennsylvania Deer Farmers Association or the National Association, NADIFA. Those are great resources to find out more about the industry.
The reason why these deer bring so much money is because of the pedigree. These aren't just any ordinary deer. These deer have tremendous pedigrees that are proven, and it amazes me that every year the good pedigreed deer just bring more and more money. That's the reason why deer farming is so lucrative. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Will Ainsworth and all the folks with Dream Ranch North for having Deer and Wildlife Stories out today. Not only to tour one of the most beautiful farms in the entire state of Pennsylvania, but also to be able to witness one of the best run deer auctions there is. If you'd like more information on Dream Ranch North, you can call them, and their phone number is 256-302-1724, or look them up online at dreamranch.org. If you'd like to watch full episodes of our program 24/7 online in full high definition, log on to my website at deerandwildlifestories.com. There you'll find the shows, but you'll also find a lot of outtakes and behind the scenes videos as well. That's deerandwildlifestories.com. Reproductive services for Deer and Wildlife Stories is provided by Dr. Ray Favero's Whitetail Genetics.